everybody to GreasemonkeysTV. I am Mulgun and this is the first in a lengthy series of do-it-yourself videos. And given that, today we are going to be looking at a very simple maintenance procedure that every motorcyclist should know. Today we are going to be looking at the engine oil change procedure, and for that reason what I have here with me is the 2015 Suzuki Gixxer SF. It's a 4-stroke air-cooled single, and this one has lost its fairing because it has been to the 8 Motors Pune off-road expedition very recently. But then again, that makes my life a lot more simpler and it gives you a clear view of what I'm going to be doing down there. Alright, so let's get to it. Now the engine oil forms the lifeblood of your motorcycle and it performs two major functions: A, cooling, and B, lubrication of the engine internals such as the piston, the camshaft, the con rod, the crankshaft and valves, etc., so on and so forth. So before we actually get down to it, let's just take a quick look at the tools that we are going to be needing for this job. So what I have here with me is a pair of pliers, a metric ring spanner for the size of the drain plug, and a combination T-spanner for the oil filter. In terms of consumables, it is a good idea to have an oil rag handy in case you spill oil somewhere. In addition to that, we will obviously need the engine oil. An oil filter is also highly recommended with every oil change because you don't want the old oil and the new oil mixing in with each other. Now, urban living gives us enough carcinogens as it is, and engine oil is a huge contributor to carcinogens, and so it is a good idea to use a pair of rubber gloves when you're handling engine oil. Since the engine oil circulates throughout the engine, it's a very good indicator of the health of the engine as well. So before we actually drain the oil, it's a good idea to take a look at the quantity and the quality of the engine oil. So some engines use a dipstick like this one over here, and a healthy engine would show used oil quantity somewhere between these 3 markings over here. Some other engines use a pure glass like this one over here, and you can see that the engine oil quantity is within the permissible range. So now before I actually drain the oil, what I'm going to do is add the engine oil flush to it and let the engine idle for a long time, for about 2-3 minutes or, and then we can actually get down to the draining part. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to start the engine and I'm going to let it idle for about a minute or two so that the flush circulates within the engine for about, to get all the nooks and crannies right. Now that we are done with the idling part of the engine, we can get down to actually draining the oil. So before you actually unscrew any bolts, make sure you've got the right one. Like this one over here is the shiny one that you can see here. While you're unbolting this, also make sure you have the drain pan right below it, and also make sure you have a measuring can to make sure that you are draining out the right quantity of oil. While you're unscrewing the bolt, make sure you're pressing upwards so that once the threads are out, you don't have oil spilling all of a sudden, and you can control the flow of the oil once the threads are loose. While the engine oil drains itself out, we can unbolt the oil filter, which is conveniently placed right over here. Engine oil can be very harmful for the environment, so it's a good idea to get rid of the oil filter and directly into a polythene bag, so which can be disposed of responsibly. Wipe off any excess oil that might have leaked on. When you're replacing the oil filter, make sure you have the female entrance towards the inside of the engine, like this, and while you're bolting on the cap, make sure both the peripheral bolts are tightened equally and simultaneously, so that the spring pressure on the filter is maintained evenly. Tightening the bolts alternately gives you an equal amount of pressure on the oil filter so that it is evenly in place. About half a thread after you feel resistance should be enough to keep the oil filter cap in position. Wipe off any excess oil that might have dripped off. Now we mentioned about the quality of the oil. So now what we are looking at here is a thin film of translucent golden yellow color, which is a very good indicator of the fact that this engine has been running pretty well and it's using up the oil as it is recommended. What you should be wary of: excessive carbon deposits, and also any shiny metallic chinks which might show you that you might have any internal engine problems. Also, in addition to this, if the engine oil shows a milky white color, that in case of a liquid cooled engine, that should suggest the leakage of coolant into the engine oil system. After you're absolutely sure that the last drops of the oil are completely out, you can replace the bolt, the drain bolt. First, tighten it by hand so that you don't have any misaligned threads. They should go in very easily. Once you feel resistance, half a turn of the spanner should be enough, half to 3/4 of a turn. And now we can finally pour in the fresh new oil. Now you're done. We've managed to extract about 850 to 900 ml of oil from this engine, which is a 10 to 15% drop in the original 1 liter. Also, don't forget to add the 100 ml of flush that you might have added to the final quantity. And also make sure that you dispose of the used engine oil responsibly, because it can be put to good use after re-refining it. And that's it from us at GreasemonkeysTV. Make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel, and ride safe and keep the rubber side down. Thank you.